Yeah, I just heard Oriana say it's not peach anymore. We painted the building. Hallelujah! Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm so joyful because we had an amazing concert last night on Zoom with Stowe Good, two of our favorite musicians from Nashville, and it was just fabulous. I was so grateful, and I felt so much joy afterwards. And I've been dealing with a back issue, and my back's been pretty stiff. And after that concert, I felt so good. I was dancing around the living room. I find myself here this morning, dancing around the living room. This was my living room. Dancing around the sanctuary. And I'm just so grateful at what joy does for you, what happiness does for you, and that we have the opportunity to choose that happiness and joy over our judgments and suffering every day. Every moment of every day, we have the choice. That's the beauty of spiritual life and the beauty of being on a spiritual path. So today I would like for us to make our joy complete. This is our final Advent Sunday before Christmas, and we celebrate our joy. And we make our joy complete by including others. Inclusion and celebrating our diversity are two key elements in making our joy complete. Is welcoming more of your brothers and sisters into your life, not keeping them separate. Stopping your judgments and finding what we have in common. For when our happiness is shared, that's when it grows. That's when we get to keep it. We can only keep it by giving it away. This is what we talked about last week. So let us join one another today. One heart, one mind. Drop every other thought. Think about we are one. We are connected. That we share one heart, one mind, one common need. Paul states in his letters to the Philippians, then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, and being one in spirit and in purpose. So there's 3 steps here to making your joy complete. The first step is being like-minded, getting on the same page, finding our common ground, finding our common truths and our common needs. And let's go from there. So what are the things that we have in common, our common needs? Everyone needs to be loved. Everyone needs to feel wanted. Everyone needs to know that they are important, that they are enough, that they count, that they matter. Everyone needs that. Everyone has basic needs of food and shelter and community. That's what we do here. We create community. We celebrate love. And in that, we transform lives. So we do have some common needs as human beings. And the most basic is to love and to be loved. To feel like you belong. Those are our basic needs. Second, he says, having the same love. And that love has to be unconditional. I have to love you no matter what it seems to be going on the surface. I have to go below that. Unconditional love. We spoke about that last week. That love is charity. Love is giving. Love is giving without the need for return. Because I'm receiving while I'm giving. Giving is its own reward. You've heard that before? Giving is its own reward. And how many of you feel that way? I feel that way. It makes me so joyful when I'm able to give. Because what's happening is my love is being given out and it's being received. So I'm fulfilling one of those basic needs. One is to be loved and the other is to receive love. And so when you're receiving, I know that my giving is being felt. I know that it's having an impact in the world. And even in the smallest ways. Karen was talking about giving cookies for Christmas. Well, yesterday I was eating some of hers that she dropped at our front door. Biscottis. And you have a nice cup of tea with one of Karen's biscottis, and you feel loved. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be a big, huge thing, although that's great too. I felt great helping somebody pay their heating bill, or when their electricity got shut off, or when they needed a cell phone charger, and you go to their house and you give them a cell phone charger, or anything, any way, even if you work in giving, if you have a job where you feed the poor. These are all ways that we feed ourselves. And I think it's very important to find what is yours to do and what is yours to give. We were watching this great movie. I mentioned this movie, Klaus. I'm going to mention it again because here's the quote. A true selfless act always sparks another. And it's I don't want to give away the movie, but it's a movie of transformation. And it has to do with selfless acts and how they always spark another. No matter who or what you are focusing your selfless act on, just do it. Just love someone. Give to someone. Give yourself away. Find a need and fill it. That's one of the most profound statements I heard about being successful. And we'll talk about true success a little later on. But if you really want to be successful, find a need and fill it. In this way of giving, we're actually performing acts of charity, of selfless giving, which is love, which is the same love, which is what Paul was asking us to have, is that same love, unconditional, that love which extends outward, that love that is its own reward, the love that blesses and multiplies. We say every week when we take up our offering, divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies. That's why we need to get in that flow of the same unconditional love, because it blesses and it multiplies. And everything that we could ever want in our lives, or even things we never thought that we could achieve, suddenly begin to happen. They begin to multiply because I'm in the flow of divine love. It's flowing through me. And we make our joy complete in this way by giving it away. And this is all true because we are one, that we are of the same love, that we are of the same source, that we are all connected. We're connected in a great web of life. So we make our joy complete. I forgot to click the button. This is a great slide. We make our joy complete by giving it away. Isn't this a great moment? This is why we had water fights when we were kids. We still might do it when we're adults. But make our joy complete by giving it away. And we're all from the same source. We're connected in a great web of life that is woven together by Spirit. So if we're in touch with the Spirit, if we're in our meditation and prayer daily, if we're in acts of giving, then we're in the flow of Spirit, which has woven together this great web of life. Then our healing energies can be felt. Our giving will have impact, and our lives will become richer. Now, Jesus also talked about joy. He said, Yeshua. I like to say Yeshua. That's a wonderful way to say the name. It's closer to how they said it in Aramaic and in Hebrew. Yeshua. He said, I've told you these things that my joy may be in you. So no matter how joyful you are, you want it to be in the other person as well. My joy may be in you. Why? because I want your joy to be complete. So my joy may be in you so that your joy may be complete. And interestingly enough, he said this in John 15, which is right after the speech of, I am the vine and you are the branches. And God, the Spirit of all, the eternal source of all there is the gardener. So if you don't bear fruit in the Spirit, it's going to be cut off. And if you do bear fruit, it's still going to be cut. It's going to be pruned so that you bear more fruit. What's going to be pruned away are my judgments. What's going to be pruned away is my hatred and my anger. What's going to be pruned away is all the ways in which I'm attacking my brothers and sisters and thus attacking myself. We don't see when we attack another, we're actually attacking ourselves. But that's in the spiritual garden, when you are attached in that great web of life. Those things are pruned away. And in fact, what happens after that is amazing. He says, herein is my Father, or the source of all there is, glorified. Glorified means made manifest so that we can see and experience it. Herein is my Father glorified, that you may bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. Which means, if you're bearing the fruits of spiritual energy, if you're bearing the fruits of healing and of prosperity, if you're bearing the fruits of unconditional love, then you are practicing the same principles that Yeshua was practicing. So we're not actually following someone like a guru, like he's going to do it for us. We're trying to learn, what is he doing and how can I do that? Because I need to identify with the Christ Spirit within that person, not idolize the ego, not idolize the personality. Because what that does is separate. That makes him separate from us. And we cannot then get closer. We cannot then manifest in the same way. So what we really, truly want to do is follow the teachings. He says, if you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. But what that means in modern terms is, if you follow the directions of Spirit, if you follow the teachings, if you follow the principles of divine law, then you will abide in that law. You will abide in that spiritual web. You will be aware of that web of life. And so you will be in the divine law, vibrating in that same frequency. And that's the Father, the source. God is love and only love. You will be in the source of that love. We keep believing in this world that we see when it changes all the time. And what we need to focus on is on that which never changes, the eternal love of the Father. Yeshua called it the Father. And what is that but the source? You can call it whatever you want, but to know that it is one power and one presence, that's the important thing. That it is singular, that it doesn't have an opposite, that its opposite is a temporary delusion of the mind. I won't get into that, but we'll get back to that after the holidays. If you're still suffering from the temporary delusion of your mind, we'll start talking about that after the holidays. But then he says, so this is my commandment, that you love one another, even as I have loved you. What did he just tell us? He just told us that we're branches connected to a source, and if we don't abide in that source, we're going to be pruned out of it. Another lifetime. Another lifetime coming. And if we do abide in it, we're going to be pruned anyway. Well, what kind of a path is this, the spiritual path, where I have to keep going through this intense transformation? Well, actually, that is his love for you, because remember what I said, you're just pruning out all the judgments, all the anger, all the hatred, all the things that are actually hurting you. And then he says, these things I have spoken unto you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. That's all anyone really wants for you and for themselves, is that your joy be complete, that you feel happy, that you find your inner purpose to awaken and be happy and be joyful. Otherwise, you're going to be battling opposites your whole life, and you will be in a form of suffering when you're doing that. And you will inevitably blame yourself or blame somebody else for your suffering. This is the release from all suffering for all time. This is your release. Your release is your spiritual awakening. And that will make your joy complete. Without alignment with your inner purpose, with your outer and inner purpose have to be aligned. When this alignment is there, then you can achieve. Without this alignment, you're not going to achieve anything. You can achieve certain things in this world through struggle, through determination, through hard work. And I'm going to read it to you in a second. But there's no joy in it. This is from Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. And I picked it because it's our next book in the book club, right? Joanne's running our book club, and she picked this book from Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. This is a must-read for anyone who's alive in the 20th century, because it's required reading. Because it talks about the awakening that's happening now in humankind. So let me read it from his book. Can't even see the book. People ask me, why do I use this King James version of the Holy Bible? You want to know why? It's got large print. Okay, A New Earth. Now this is further along in the book, so I won't ruin the first book club meeting here. This is in the chapter called Your Inner Purpose. So the most important thing is to realize this, that your life has an inner purpose and an outer purpose. The inner purpose concerns being as primary. Being is primary. Our outer purpose concerns doing and is secondary. So being is primary, doing is secondary. Your inner purpose is to awaken. That's it. It's as simple as that. You share this purpose with every other person on the planet because it is the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It's an essential part of the purpose of the whole universe and its emerging intelligence. Your outer purpose can change over time. It varies greatly from person to person. Finding and living in alignment with the inner purpose is the foundation for fulfilling your outer purpose. It is the basis for true success. Now here's where I took that quote from. Without that alignment, you can still achieve certain things through effort, struggle, determination, and sheer hard work or cunning. But there is no joy in such endeavor. And it invariably ends in some form of suffering. So yeah, you can just bear down and work hard and be determined, and you can be cunning, and you can try to figure things out, and you can try to work things out, but where's the joy in that? Where's the joy in that? Following your inner purpose is easy, it's happy, it's joyful. It's as easy as breathing in, breathing out. Following the Spirit. What am I going to do today? Where is this joy leading me today? Where is love leading me today? Where is this peace going to lead me today? You don't have to worry about it because you're being led through the Spirit and through joy. And I just absolutely love living that way. Now, if we're suffering, we're the cause of most of our suffering. I was also suggesting a book for our book club, The Book of Joy, where the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu have a conversation. It's a great book. Oh, man. So in that book, the Dalai Lama says, we create most of our suffering, so it should be logical that we will have the ability to create more joy, to create our joy. It's just logical. Now, of course, in Unity, we say that you create your experience by the activity of your thinking and your feeling and your belief. That where your attention goes, energy flows. So if our attention's on our happiness and our joy, what are we going to create? Oh, yes, that's the present that I'm going to offer you this Christmas. You have the power to create the joy in your life. You have all the power of decision, to stop suffering, create joy. It's always up to us, isn't it? It's always up to us. Now let's see, he goes on to say something really interesting here. It simply depends on the attitudes, the perspectives, and the reactions we bring to situations and to our relationships with other people. This is still the Dalai Lama speaking. When it comes to personal happiness, there is a lot that we as individuals can do. Now, my question is, now that we know that, are we going to actually do it? Are we going to actually take responsibility for our own happiness and our own joy? Are we going to take responsibility for how we experience the world? Because it's our attitudes and our perspectives and our reactions that we bring to the situations and to our relationships that make all the difference. So it's just a matter of stopping for a moment. What is my attitude going into this? What is my perspective? How am I reacting to this situation or to this relationship? That's all it is. Stopping for a moment and saying, I have the power in this to experience what I need and want to experience. I have the power to bring more joy here. So we are here to create joy. We're here to awaken. That's our purpose. Our purpose is to awaken. And we're here to create joy in our awakening. And we need to follow the inner purpose that we have to awaken and to create joy if we're going to have more joy in this world. And so that's what I'm offering as my gift to you this Christmas, is that you have the power to create joy in your life. You have the power to manifest anything and everything that you want. You have the power to connect with the great web of life. That which we call God, the Father, is really the great web of infinite loving energy. And you have the power to bring that into focus. Focus your attention on that. For where your attention goes, there will your energy flow. And I can guarantee there will the energy of all those around you begin to flow as well. And that's how we bring the world back to peace, to joy, to happiness, and celebration of the Christ being born in you. So let it be born in you this Christmas, okay, guys? I love you. Thank you so much.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.